Hey. Say. Bitch. Tell me what you doing tonight. What you doing tonight? Toes and let her hop in my ride.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another rendition of the Oliver Happy Hour. Today is the day, and I'm joined by my illustrious sisters, Miss Debbie Dev
Debbie Dev here in the building.
and Daisy O.
Daisy O, always ready for the show.
All right, so, and of course, I'm Darren, and we're here coming to you live from the East Side, the Side, and
Yes.
yeah, today we're gonna be talking. Today we're gonna bring back Politricks.
Yeah.
So that's what this episode is about. Talking a lot about stuff that's happening locally, politically, as well as just stuff that's happening. So earlier we opened up with a skit talking about really reflecting on the street takeovers, and let's just talk about what are they to begin with. What are the street takeovers? Devin, or do you want to elaborate?
I mean, I want to say, like, I don't want to say it's car clubs, but it's, a group of people that like to go in certain intersections around the city and do donuts, and fuck up their cars, fuck up their tires. And I would like back in the day, and when we was coming up straight out of high school or even before that, people would go and they would go on Crenshaw and ride up, Crenshaw to show off their cars and how nice they were. And it was car clubs too. And I feel like they weren't as reckless as these kids are now. And I'm like, I understand, like, they're young, they want to have fun, but they are like just
They're
it's out
supercharging
of
their
control.
cars.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
out
They're
of
supercharging
control.
their cars and they doing all the donuts, but some
And
of
messing up their cars. And I know it's expensive. Okay, like that is just irresponsible. Okay.
I mean, they don't care. They're like in it for the thrill. And I mean,
Yeah.
in
But
the
look-
spot where we grew up in, they've been doing donuts since we were younger,
Mhm.
but now it's just increased.
but it's a new generation, and like this is a generation of kids that grew up looking at the
don't
Fast
give
and
a
the
fuck,
Furious
child.
on TNT.
Yeah.
But like it's been glorified. I mean, we
Yeah.
are in the new phase of car culture.
Mhm.
There was a phase in the '60s, there was a phase in the '80s and '90s,
Mhm.
and now it's the new iteration of it.
Yeah.
Of people just like really heavily into it.
Right.
And thing is, it's just like it is dangerous. It is getting dangerous.
People have died.
People
People
have
have
died.
lost their lives. People have been injured. It comes to a point where you want to have fun and be wild and crazy and live in the moment and all that good stuff, but practice safety. That's all.
I mean, yeah. It's impacting too many people's lives, not just the people that are
Yeah.
doing it. It's the community that's being impacted. It's the streets that need to get repaved.
Or that
It's-
have been repaved and have been messed up because
Right.
of that.
Yeah.
Well, let's just
yeah.
speak about what exactly happens at the takeover. So, so the takeover having people plan, where the meetup spot is going to be at. They come, they
And then they
block the intersection,
Uh-huh.
right? So block the intersection from going traffic in any direction.
Mhm.
And then
Every
they
direction.
congregate, every direction. They congregate around in a circle. And then people are doing donuts. They're just doing they're drifting. Basically like you're drifting around in circles, doing donuts in the middle of the intersection. Going at a rapid rate of speed, burning rubber, just completely burning rubber.
It's a mess.
It's too much, and I'm glad that news is now covering it because it's just gotten out
Out of
of hand, like literally out of control. But hopefully, it just dwindles down and people stop doing it because it's so dangerous.
Ooh, it's gonna stop doing it.
I don't know, Daisy. I don't
Until
know.
I mean, hey, look, human behavior is what like people are going to continue to do it until there is a repercussion for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, there has been loss of life, but that's not enough to deter anybody from doing
Right.
it. Until somebody comes and says we're gonna take your cars away.
Mhm.
Like, we already got your license plate. We will, like, if we see it parked anywhere, we will tow it.
Right.
But that's seizure.
You know, it's crazy because I have been in, or I have seen takeovers and have seen like police like in like the back just like watching.
Well, they can't do anything. What
And
they
they
gonna
can't, I guess they can't, but that's like they stopping traffic. So it's like, why wouldn't they be able to do anything? That's what I don't understand. Because they
Right.
just be sitting there and
do?
watching,
Was it
just
how many cop
probably
cars?
making sure like nothing bad happens or whatever. But
Well, it is just. I mean, but look, that's like, yeah. I mean, instead of like fighting protesters, you think that they would fight that, right?
that
Because
part,
look,
okay?
when protesters are out, they bring all the
Bring all
the toys
the
out.
force,
They bring all the toys out.
everything.
But
But they can't do nothing about these cars messing up the street, trying to prevent them from hitting people, trying to prevent them from car accidents, like that. It just don't make no sense to me for them to just sit there and watch it happen.
I agree.
It's
It's
stupid.
weird.
That's stupid. That's really stupid.
It's very weird that they
Well,
would just.
I mean, I've seen some cops. I have seen like them trying to go in, and like some of those, I guess you would call it brave cops who go into like try to go into the middle of it, like with the sirens on and stuff. And you know what ends up happening is that,
It's like they outnumbered.
of course, they're outnumbered. The
Right.
people start jumping on top of the cop car. I've seen the video of them jumping on top
Okay.
of a cop car. And okay, like
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, then that makes
They're
sense.
Them doing all that.
And I've seen. I mean, the time that I've seen a police car, it was just the police car. It wasn't like multiple police cars.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't good. He wasn't trying to be no hero. He was trying to go home that night.
Yeah, he was just probably patrolling the situation. I guess I don't know.
Oh, he was just looking. He had his camera on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he turned it on that time.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Overall, y'all just be careful out there because
Right.
it doesn't seem like the cops are doing anything, and it's more important that you're safe because they're just gonna do what they want to do. So
Well, yeah.
I can tell. Oh man, it's been so many times where I've been coming down Wilmington or Central, and luckily, like there's streets before where I could avoid the traffic
Oh, because you see it
to
ahead.
get home. But it's like some of the times I've seen like fire coming from people's tires,
yeah,
and like it was just chaos. Like, what is going on? Y'all are out here wilding out. Okay, I ain't
Yeah.
about that life. I ain't never been about that life. When I'm around a lot of people, I'll be like, yeah, it's time to get the fuck.
They be in
Okay.
it for the thrill.
Yeah,
It's not worth it
it's
to
not
me
a thrill
because
to
people
me.
are getting injured. People's cars are
Yes.
being damaged.
I may stop and look a little bit, but yeah, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, well, speaking of the police, isn't there like some police,
Child, that fool.
like, isn't it coming up in the elections?
Well, just to finish, you said the police. You mean
Well,
the sheriff?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
speaking
sheriff
of,
elections.
Speaking of the police.
Yeah, the sheriff. Sheriff Alex Villanueva is coming up
Yeah.
for re-election, and he, remember, he ran as a Democrat, which is kind of odd because
He's something else.
he pretty much rode the anti-Trump wave,
Mm-hmm.
and he positioned himself as a Democrat in a nonpartisan office. The sheriff is a nonpartisan office. You're not as a sheriff. You're not a Democrat or a Republican. You may lean. I mean, privately you might be that, but it's not like we elect the Democrat sheriff. So he positioned himself as a Democrat, as a Latino. And he was trying to say like, oh, this white guy who, what was that guy? What was the former sheriff's name? But he took over from Lee Baca, but he was just, just a regular, just a general white guy. He was the Long Beach chief of police. He used to work, in with the sheriff. So it's like he came in. He was just trying to clean up the mess that Lee Baca, who was a sheriff for over 20 years, started. Lee Baca, ran the jails into the ground. I mean, under Lee Baca, because a lot of people don't realize is that people like to say like, "Oh my goodness, like, oh, like LA isn't as bad," But then it's like, well, wait a second. Have you looked at the statistics for the whole county? Because if you look at in terms of police brutality, I think in the top 4 or in the top 5, LAPD is in there, and LA County Sheriff. They both have the distinction of being on that list.
Interesting.
Wow.
So I mean, that just kind of tells you just about I mean, the county sheriff they've been notoriously a racist institution, and Alex Villanueva came in acting like he was going to be a reformer, but he's none of that.
He is corrupt.
Yeah, he's corrupt. Yeah, I mean, I've read articles that he, guys know what a concealed carry permit, is, right?
Yeah.
For you to have a concealed carry weapon, you have to, in California, you have to apply for one from your sheriff, who has to deem that that you have a justifiable reason to carry one. Well, Alex Villanueva, from what we've heard, is that he denies everybody except for his supporters. If you're one of his supporters, then somehow you get approved.
Wow.
So
that's corrupt.
They had an inspector general, just recently. He doesn't like one of the border supervisors, Sheila Kuehl, who represents the West Side. So Sheila Kuehl has called for him to resign several times because he has had, just in general, he has had a tumultuous relationship with the LA County Board of Supervisors, who technically aren't his boss, but they have oversight over his office because they approve the budget that he gets. Right? I mean, it's an elected office. We elect the sheriff. So Sheila Kuehl, he opens up an investigation saying that that an agency that she was like on a board of directors, like basically that she steered county funds towards this organization that she was an advisor to. And so, they found out that so basically he had her house raided. But
That's
the T is that so Sheriff Villanueva, he tells the Attorney General, Rob Bonta, here in California, he tells him, hey, you might want to look into this because it's something fishy going on here, and this needs to be investigated. So because this has seemed like a political attack, that he's attacking her because he doesn't like her, then Rob Bonta came in and said, well, yeah, you're right. I need to take over the whole investigation, turn over everything that you guys got. You guys aren't handling this anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what recently happened, but it's
how recent was that? Like a week ago?
About 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, that needed to happen.
Yeah.
And so they have an inspector general in the sheriff's office. This past week, they found out that Sheriff Villanueva has denied Inspector General access to the sheriff facilities.
And why is that? I wonder why.
He's gonna make up some reason. But yeah, that's Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
He just looks.
That is an office
suspect.
that we all are gonna be able to vote for.
Yes.
Is the LA County Sheriff.
Yes,
Yeah.
Please vote, everyone. Please
get his
vote. Learn
ass
about the
out.
information that's out there. For real.
Because that is crazy.
I mean,
he is
in
corrupt.
general, this is Politricks. This episode, we wanted to talk about Politricks. So there's a lot happening with the election coming up.
It is. Why don't we take a brief intermission for new music?
Oh, that's not.
Yes, new music.
right.
We skipped that part.
I know we kind of just got straight. We kind of just got
straight into it. We do have
Yeah,
some
we
new
did.
music to lighten the
Straight into
mood before we get into more Politricks.
Yeah, so I think what did I open with? Was that
That was Jay Worthy.
yeah, that was Jay Worthy I was playing.
And Darren, you said he's from Compton?
Yeah, he is. So yeah, this is Jay Worthy and Harry Fraud. It's a song called Tonight. And so I like Jay Worthy because he uses all these 80s synth beats and stuff, stuff
Yeah,
that
I
I
like
kind of
it.
like. All right,
Yeah.
so we opened with that. Devin, you had suggested somebody
Lorenzo.
somebody from the Bay Area,
Yeah, the
right?
Bay Area. I
Okay.
like this guy. He seems like he's real down to earth. He's independent. Um, and he is talking about something. Like he's not just talking about getting cash. Well, he is talking about getting cash, but he's talking about investing that cash.
All right.
And he's not talking about splurging it on the broads and just blowing his money. He's talking about investing it in stocks and good stuff
Yeah.
and
All right.
positive things. And yeah, I like him. He's pretty cool. So this is about getting that bag. It's not really a new song, but a lot of people like this.
20s, 50s, 100s. Finna go invest this money. What time is it? Time to go get that bag. Ooh, these niggas thinking I'm a rap star.
Ain't
Bitch,
got
I'm
that
a hustle
bag
like
feel.
my dad. Oh shit, I need stock, cheese, checks, gold. Made $250,000 and my neck ain't froze. Seen a bigger picture and I hit my pose. Made it off ye facts. Whoa, y'all niggas all got the game fucked up. Wonder how you sleep with your name fucked up. MC with a hammer, boy, you can't touch us.
All right. Yeah.
Fuck who at the top. I don't see
That's
nothing
cool.
when I drop.
Yeah, check him out. Check out more of his
La
music.
Russell.
Lorenzo. Never heard of Lorenzo.
Yeah, he's pretty new. He got this thing going on where he is doing concerts and people that are paying for the tickets, they paying what they can pay.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
not like it's a specific price. It's like you pay what you can.
I love
Come
it.
support. Right?
That's
I think
dope.
that's cool.
That's dope.
And he started out. I mean, he was doing concerts in his backyard.
Okay.
Pretty dope, right? So
That is.
Pretty
he's
cool.
a rapper for the people.
That's
I
what's
like
up.
that. I like that.
And Daisy, you said Evie McKinney, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
Is it Ivy or Evie? Evie?
I believe it's
Evie.
Evie.
I
Probably
believe it's
Evie.
Evie.
It's
I really love this
EVVI or
song. I've been
something.
listening to it for like 2 weeks, back to back in the car. I love this song. Just a real gospel. Hear it in her house.
Yes, Lord.
I love it.
I like it.
Y'all listen
All
to her
right,
album.
Evie.
She got some good music for real.
Yeah,
When
I
I really
like
hear
it.
new gospel artists, she's one that I really like.
Aw,
It's
that's
nice. Yeah,
dope.
Evie McKinney, this house.
Yeah.
All right, so
McKinney.
that was a little taste of new music for everyone. Oh, well, maybe I should play another one since I guess. Oh, sorry, hold on. Let me. My bad.
I'm like, wait a
Another
minute.
one.
Which
Whoops.
one?
Which one?
This one's called Electricity by Ebidio Sound Machine.
Electricity, elementary, emergency, fiddle diddle diddle dee, equality, eternity, expectancy. What does it mean to me? All these words, big
I'm gonna do the robot for this song.
big grammar. All these words.
Yeah, so some more, songs
like
from
it.
Africa.
Yeah.
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 So this is
yeah.
called Electricity.
Love it.
Yeah, so
I like it.
that's new music. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
All
right.
now.
So I think we use that as an intermission to go from talking about just to wrap up, 'cause I don't think we wrapped up fully about the
Villanueva and
well, no, not about Villanueva, but about the measures that count. Because I know Councilman Andre Spicer did try to put in those little things, the little circle things in the middle of the street, but I think it probably has deterred a little bit. But
just a little bit.
they still doing it. They
Still doing it on Central and Alondra. They
Yeah.
still doing it on Central and Rosecrans. They put the little thing, the bubbles down on Central. Wilmington
Y'all know what?
and
Caldwell.
Caldwell.
I really want them to put like those spikes when you can't back up in a parking lot, and like you could just put them up.
That
if
would be
there's
perfect.
If there's a camera right there, and like the police see or whoever's watching traffic
They-
control, they could just put them spikes up, and then the
Well,
tires will be busted
Really, that's
out.
what they need to do is just put
They
up
do.
cameras. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably
Well,
the
yeah.
the best thing. But hey,
Totally.
look,
And them spikes.
Yeah.
Shit. Put them spikes up there. Get their tires done. Like your tires are done for after this. You can't come back to this area. Honestly, you got to do stuff like that. Be like in order to prevent people from doing
Yeah,
that. And that's
deterrence. Yeah,
unfortunate.
deterrence.
But if my tires are gonna get taken out because I'm doing this, I'm not gonna do it right here anymore. Which it put it at all the spots that they do it at. Like they'll probably find some new spots, but whatever.
you just need to go down to a track or something.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's something the community could do. If you know that these people like drag racing, have them go to this track, sign off their life away, and don't come to the community with this.
To sign off their life away.
Because they can sign a waiver to be there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know?
Right, and don't put other people in danger or jeopardy.
Exactly. They're opting into this experience. To me, it's like jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah, do it safely.
It's an extreme sport.
That you do in the right place. You know, you don't jump
Right.
out of an airplane over a residential area.
Exactly. That part. You don't
know,
go
I'm not-
snowboarding
Yeah,
on the street.
I'm not trying to get you on my kitchen table. You know, come on.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
it's just, something to think about. But
Okay, so switching gears. So I know we just wrapped that up. So switching gears and talking about the mayoral election here in the city of Los Angeles. So right now, coming up, we're gonna have Rick Caruso, who is a billionaire, real estate developer. Let's speak about how he got his money because his daddy started Dollar Rental Car. You know, Rick Caruso will tell you that he worked his way up, but hey, look, Daddy already had a paved road
Daddy.
for you.
Yes.
totally.
But he did use that money. He built the Grove. He turned it into a real estate empire. He owns the Americana ad brand and owns a few other properties. A big philanthropist towards USC. I think he was the chairman of the board of trustees for a minute after the scandal happened. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So that is Rick Caruso for you. So he is running for mayor because he wants to see a lot of things change. He feels like the city has become derelict, that nobody is paying attention to things, that somebody needs to come clean it up.
I mean, yeah. There's a
But-
lot that needs to be cleaned up in
Yeah.
LA. Like, I just feel
It
like they
does.
just got comfortable after
Especially
getting.
the homeless.
Yeah, I think they just got comfortable after getting all these new reports and media outlets saying like Los Angeles is not only the most expensive place, the most sought after. And I mean, I love California. I never want to leave my whole life. I'm like not everyone, that's too much, but most people come here to kind of explore themselves, but most importantly to feel safe, especially in the LGBTQ community, to have more accessible food resources like vegan, more options. The weather is great. You don't have to deal with like extreme weather other than
Natural disasters.
too hot. It's very hot out here. So I mean, it's just a great area, and I do think that like Devin mentioned the homeless. That's a huge issue. That's one of the reasons people don't want to come here.
Yeah.
It's
too
like
expensive,
and
and
then-
then people they come out here and then, try to strive to do good and are not don't have the fun or don't have the job
Mm-hmm.
to
Can't make it
or
and
don't
end up
have
on
the
the
funds.
street.
Yeah, child. It's
Yeah.
just I'm
So
trying
we
to get it
do,
out, but I can't.
honestly, we need some, I mean, and there's tons of apartments downtown. There's tons of empty apartments. To
Mm-hmm.
me, this is such a resourceful state. There should be no reason why we have as many homeless across California. It's not just in LA. It's in Northern
just
California. It's
true.
in
I think some of it is just like we need to start giving tickets for people to go back home too.
yeah,
True.
yeah,
Put that on the table. Hey, look, if you got here and you need to go back home, come get a ticket. Take that Greyhound back to where
right.
You came from.
family is, where maybe you have support system back in Tennessee or wherever you came
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
You know, because yeah, I mean because let's be honest, that is I know it sounds like a conservative talking point, but let's be real. They got people over that they have coming from Georgia and from all these other states that they're giving them tickets to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they might not be the most mentally stable person but they have a dream of being a star.
Right. Yeah.
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 It's
Come on. I mean that's
Jesus.
Yeah.
Help
There
us,
we do
Lord.
need
go to
somebody who can clean it
California.
up.
You can get on food stamps there. They love taking. There's more programs out there, and now we become the we have to take care of the issue. Us
Yeah.
as California taxpayers that
Right.
do not receive. We don't receive dollar for dollar federally that we put in.
I know.
You
We
know.
get,
That
I mean, I feel
part.
like a third of our paycheck is taken out, just not just
Yes.
Yeah, a third
federal
of my
and
a
state,
third of my
and as well as like sales tax.
yeah.
That
Mhm.
mess is like 10-11%
Right.
Yes.
for no reason. I'm like, what
Almost
is
11%.
so yeah, I do think that there should be more resources externally where we don't have to foot the bill. And I mean, it's fine. We do have a lot more resources, but right now it's kind of getting excessive, especially with inflation. With it's
Gas
just going to
prices,
create
child.
more people that are going to be put out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
my problem. It's like you're just recreating this cycle.
Right.
Well, and we haven't just been building. We haven't been building on par. Now that's what Caruso promises, right? Caruso's a developer himself, so he's like, I'm going to cut all the red tape. And let's be honest, there is red tape. There is too much red tape out there. The city can't even look. The city of LA cannot even build on the city of LA's property and be fast tracked. They have to go through the same processes.
Oh my god.
They have to go through the same permitting process for the sidewalk department.
Mhm.
Then you got to talk to the DWP department. Then you got to talk to the Senate. And it's just like you would think that you would even be able to build something and fast track it. If anybody, you can fast track your own shit. They can't even do that.
Or
So
just
that
make
just
it
shows you.
streamlined. Like, why don't all these companies come together and just have a full on 1 month, like once a month meeting where all these areas come together? They talk about the different applications that have come through, and if one or two people, however many votes that you need, that if you don't get those votes, it can't move forward.
Well, I think
Like,
the issue is that everybody wants a piece of the cream.
yeah,
Exactly.
people are greedy.
People are.
So
I was just about to say
That's
that.
how
People are
projects
greedy.
begin costing so much. Is
There's
because
no integrity.
no, it's not just no integrity. You don't have people with the skills who are working in the public sector.
Mm.
Who the hell has the skills to put all those deals together and
Yeah.
actually want to be working for the city?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the city is so ass backwards and so slow and archaic. Your talent is maybe they're gonna start there, but they're probably gonna go into consultancy.
Mm.
And once they're in a
Yeah.
consultancy, maybe at the city they're gonna be like, oh, that person's real good. Let's bring them back for this project. Oh, they got a big ass fee. Ooh.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, now everything is increasing higher than the estimates. So it just goes back to who are we training and what are we training for what? Because anyway, we're getting off of we're talking about development and stuff like that. But that's what Karen Bass wants to do. I personally, if I could vote in the city of LA, I'm right like at the marker where like I'm not represented, from even though my address is Los Angeles. I'm in an
Mhm.
unincorporated part of the county. But I would vote for Karen Bass. I would.
Mhm.
However, let's be real. Karen Bass to me just seems like somebody who's just very establishment.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm
What do you
not,
totally.
mean by
and I
that?
Like
don't.
she wouldn't be willing to change
No, because she
anything.
reminds me of like, and I'm not saying this just because they're both black women.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she reminds me of like Kamala Harris.
I agree with you.
She doesn't give me
I
no
agree with
Auntie
you.
Maxine energy.
Okay. Like she gonna do any and everything to like get the shit done.
Yeah.
I mean, Karen. I mean,
She's
but I
just playing
respect,
it safe.
but she has to, cause yeah, she has to. I understand she has to play it safe because she has to build a coalition of people, and she has
And
to
she
lead.
needs supporters.
And she's the favorable candidate, so it's more like, well, the less that you say, the more that you won't be able to
It's
upset
a whole
anybody.
this politics this politics
What, Devin?
shit
Uh-huh.
is a whole game, okay?
Mhm.
Obviously. It's calculated. You know,
Mhm.
they have to not say certain things, have to say certain things to win over people and
Yeah, your
I
target
just be
demo.
like, are you telling the truth or are you being, fake?
Yeah.
Like, are you just saying it just to say it because you're trying to get my vote? That's my thing. Like, I'll be thinking like, are you really honest?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, because there's the main issue is going to be homelessness and
Yeah,
homeless.
And it should
that's what
be.
I want to see.
Very,
Somebody that is like
very much
really
so. It
gonna
should be.
tackle this whole issue on homelessness.
But look, the key word that I mean, the key thing to remember is that anybody who says that they're going to fix it, I don't trust them off the back anyway, because
No.
the problem is way too way too
it's
complex
deep. Child,
for it
it's
to be
deep.
fixed. The
It's
best that
very
we can
deep.
do is to try to create multiple solutions for people
Mhm.
who fall into different categories.
Yes.
Right.
Because look, you still have people who've been chronically homeless for
Yes.
decades now,
Yes.
who are like, yeah, like
They're okay with it.
I wouldn't say they're okay with it.
Some homeless people really be okay with being homeless.
But
It's
that's just
more.
'cause
It's
they've
more.
given up,
It's
Dev.
more to it. It's more to it. I would say it's more to it than that, because there's just, if it were not for finances, because look, I had a guy who homeless for 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Homeless for 20 years.
Oh my God.
You know, we got him a chance to get a Section 8 voucher, but you're scared.
Yeah.
It's scary to try to get that again, because it's just like, well, what if I'm gonna fucking lose this shit again, like I
Yeah.
lost my last place?
Yeah.
And his main concern was that he needed to keep paying for his storage because he had all these prized possessions.
Mm.
And because he had lost other storage units full of this stuff that he collects,
Mm-hmm.
and I could resonate with that because I like shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like stuff like that. So I was connecting with him because I was really trying to get him to sign this fucking Section 8 application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get him to sign it.
No, that
in
Section
time.
8 application would just reopened again.
No, not for these. These are for
Okay.
emergency housing
Got
choice
it,
vouchers.
Okay.
Okay.
So he missed the deadline, unfortunately. But he was still mostly concerned about his stuff.
So they be
So
hesitant to sign these things.
Because he wanted to make sure that his storage unit was paid for before he. And he's like, I got to get a big place with a big garage because I got to, all my shit, But hey, I mean, look, if you're out on the street for a long period of time, yeah, you're going to be affected by a lot of different things. You're not getting help,
I mean, and
There's no stability. You're constantly worried about where you're going to sleep. So there's a lot of stuff to, that factors into it.
And at some point, they don't care if beggars can't be choosers. They're like, I'm still a chooser.
Look,
Get what I mean?
But I'm like, you don't have the luxury of
look, it makes sense to us. It's not for us to make,
Right, you're right.
Yeah, it
You're
don't.
right.
It don't have to make sense to us.
True.
Only thing we
true.
can do is respect it. But that's the thing.
Right.
But look, that's what you have to pay attention to, because Gavin Newsom, they're trying to do some different stuff in terms of forcing people into housing or forcing people into drug rehab. You know, because you have like you said, there are some individuals who do not want to go to who don't want to go to like a shelter.
Okay.
Like they want to remain on the street because they don't want somebody telling them what to do. And
Yeah.
that is where
I
that
can
is
understand
where
that.
you begin to have, I mean, it's a deeper conversation about
Mhm.
civilization, right?
Mhm.
Because you have certain civic codes that say, hey, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. And who enforces that, right?
Mhm.
You know, who enforces that? Rick Caruso is going to come in and say, no sleeping on the sidewalk. You need to enforce that law so that it's no sleeping on the sidewalk. Now,
Yeah.
what different council persons have done lately is by saying, like, oh, well, we're going to take a compassionate approach and we're going to let these people take over this park.
Mhm.
I'm against that.
Right.
I'm against turning the park into a shelter unless you're going to demarc an area or a section of the park and have actual facilities for people.
Right.
You know, like I'm not for like, oh no, like let people just have their tents and stuff. No.
No.
And it's unsanitary and it's over
Well,
here needles and stuff and
mind
people
you-
are over here shitting on the grass and stuff. No, treat people better than that.
Real quick, I had seen something on the news on Spectrum News. They were, doing a interview with a parent, a resident and a parent of a neighborhood that they had. It was a neighborhood park, and she would always bring her kids to the park, but it was also a area where they had services to give the homeless people like what they needed, like needles or whatever that whole
Yeah, it
thing
may have
is.
been a needle exchange. But I'm sure if it was a needle exchange, I'm sure it probably wasn't next to a park. Usually they wouldn't put
normally
them.
they put it near the hospital or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't be at a.
It
It
was
wouldn't
at a park.
unless it was like
a van or something in the
yeah.
parking lot.
It was something like
Yeah,
that.
probably.
Yeah, and the parent was saying like, this is not okay, to have it at the park where it's known to have a lot of traffic with children and their parents and stuff like that. I forgot what area it was. I want to say.
I mean, and those are
forgot what
those
area
and
it was,
those are I understand like those are tough things to
Yeah.
try to
But it's also an opportunity to have a conversation with your child
Right.
if they
True.
are of age
True.
to even developmentally understand what that means.
Yeah.
But if anything, it's like, okay, well, these are things that they're collecting that you can't touch.
don't touch that. If you see
Right.
something like
Don't
that,
touch
don't
it.
touch it.
Right.
You know, and it has to be a learning opportunity.
Right.
But yeah, so back to the I mean, I feel like we could talk about just homelessness for a whole
Yeah,
episode
we could.
in itself. But long story short, I think it's just gonna be. I mean, Karen Bass I think she might win. I wish her success.
Yeah.
However, what mostly I'm worried about is just look, Eric Garcetti gave up. I mean,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be in India right now, but they Chuck Grassley fucked that up for him. Well, it wasn't him. It was his assistant. But anyway, yeah, and yeah, if Karen Bass doesn't win, it's basically like Rick Caruso is just going to open the floodgates for different developers like himself who are just going to get tax breaks. And look, developers and landlords right now, look how much they charge up rent.
Right.
For a while, they were saying we need to
Yeah.
approve all these projects so that we can bring the cost of rent down because it's a supply issue. It's a supply issue. We don't have enough units. And it's like, okay, well, as units come online, you find out that many of the new units, either they charge way too much because now they're luxury.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And what the hell does that mean? That don't mean shit.
They're more modernized, and that is.
But the luxury places, they don't look any different than some of these places that get remodeled.
Yeah.
Because it's the same shit from Home
Right.
Depot.
Basically.
Come on. It's that same shit.
Basically.
Some shaker cabinets and some lime some of that fake looking limestone shit.
And the
Granite
stick
towel
towel.
Yeah.
The towel that you could just
Yeah, little
stick
subway.
on.
Yeah, little subway towel, and you got the little vinyl planks and shit. I mean, come
Yes.
on. All houses look the same.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rick Caruso, I don't think he's gonna be any good.
No.
Not at all. Karen Bass, I don't know. I just wish that it was more transformational change that could happen, but she's just inevitably just going to be sticking to the Democratic status quo here in LA.
Yeah.
You know.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that was Politricks. Yeah.
Sorry,
so,
guys. My
Daisy.
post nasal drip is just.
Oh Lord, help her, Lord.
Ooh my.
Help me, Jesus.
Help
Oh,
her, Lord.
sorry, guys, to end it on that note, but just take your allergy medicine. I use the CVS brand, so
Try to
it's
avoid.
a CVS brand commercial. I
Okay.
need to probably switch to
Zyrtec?
Allegra.
All right. All right.
I need to switch Claritin.
Nobody is trying to
Claritin.
hear your allergy medicine.
Oh, God.
But all right.
You hear that, Claritin? We can advertise
guys.
for you
Claritin,
for a
we need
spot
you right
on our
now.
show.
We need you right now.
Right now.
Well, you guys stay safe out there in these streets. Try to avoid the takeover. Don't participate. All right. And if you do, be safe. All right.
And
That's
get to
all
the
we have
polls.
to say.
And
And get to the polls and vote. Vote that motherfucker out. I'm just playing.
Oh, God.
All right. All right, let's say that affirmation.
All right, guys.
All right, so Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
Have a good one, y'all.
Have a good
Happy
one.
Halloween. Watch Hocus Pocus 2.
Yes!
It's mine, only one at a time. So precious.